In order for the veil to be lifted, you need to begin lifting the veil yourself. The veil being lifted is actually the outcome of you beginning to pierce through your false sense of perception. Because in order for the world around you to show you your reality with a renewed sense of clarity, it means that you have begun seeing through the misconceptions yourself, especially about yourself. And the fastest way for you to see the actual reality of who you are and what you're about in this world is through mastering two self concepts: the idea of honoring your self respect and the idea of honoring your self interest. Now, let's start with self respect because logically speaking, we understand that others should respect us. But do we really believe in our self worth and value to expect that from others? And that's what it comes back to because the idea of having self respect is not something that you can only logically understand. You really need to embody that self concept in your day to day. You really need to think about it. How does a person who has a high level of self respect behave with themselves and with others? And one of the biggest differentiators between someone who has a high level of self respect and someone who does not is the fact that they are okay with the discomfort that may come from creating distance with people and opportunities that are potentially harmful to their sense of self worth and value. And they are okay when they are misunderstood because they act from a place that protects their self worth and value. Because for many people, it can be very confusing when they don't see someone being emotionally reactive or isn't over explaining their choices. Because someone with a high level of self respect sees themselves with full autonomy to take care of what they value, and they lean into that freedom fully because they realize that many unwarranted obligations put on them are simply psychological to keep them from realizing their value and worth. And if those unwarranted obligations are simply living in your mind because of what other people silently expect of you, then those with a high level of self respect can refocus their time and energy without guilt on the people and opportunities that best serve them and their interests. Which leads me to the second powerful self concept that you need to embody, which is the idea of being someone who unapologetically acts on their self interest. In other words, you simply do what is best for you without being influenced by what will people think. The level of dedication that we have for ourselves and our aspirations needs to be the same, and if not more than the level of dedication that we are willing to give to others. And the way that we show our devotion to who we are and what we want is by acting on our self interest, is by doing what is best for us. And so, how do you build the habit of being a person who embodies their self interest? Every day you do something that is impactful for you, even in the smallest of ways. It can be anything. Taking the time to run an errand, scheduling a gym class after work, whatever it is, you're getting into the habit of prioritizing yourself, especially your well being. Because a lot of the times, what we tend to forget is the fact that we have to live with the outcomes of the decisions that we end up making. So that means that despite external pressures from family, friends, and our environment, we need to have enough courage to make decisions that move us forward and substantiate our value and worth. And so, when you don't act on your own self interest, it's like you're rejecting your own God given autonomy to forge your own path in life. And when you continue to keep yourself stuck in situations that no longer serve you, it further continues to cloud your perception of your own reality, where you are unable to see yourself in your own power, which also means it's going to take you longer to begin lifting the veil that is currently stopping you from seeing your own potential. Because at the end of the day, clarity comes from having self respect and acting on your self interest. And when you start to embody that before you know it, the veil begins to lift itself for you.